Walking into a garden center and seeing rows of bagged soil stacked high can feel overwhelming. Potting mix, garden soil, raised bed mix, compost blends, so many options, all claiming to be the best. But not all bagged soils are created equal, and choosing the right one can make the difference between thriving plants and disappointing results. Bagged soil is more than just dirt in a bag. It's a foundation for your plants, a living ecosystem that supports root growth, water retention, and nutrient absorption. Pick the wrong one, and you might end up with compacted soil that suffocates roots, a mix that dries out too quickly, or one loaded with unnecessary fillers. But pick the right one, and you're setting your plants up for healthy, vigorous growth with minimal effort. Let's break down exactly how to choose the best bagged soil for your garden, so you never waste money on the wrong product again. Before buying, it's important to understand the different types of bagged soil available. Each type is formulated for specific gardening needs, and using the wrong one can lead to poor plant growth. Potting mix is designed for containers and raised beds. It's lightweight, well-draining, and often contains peat moss, coconut coir, perlite, and vermiculite. Unlike regular garden soil, potting mix doesn't compact over time, allowing plant roots to breathe and absorb nutrients effectively. If you're growing vegetables, flowers, or herbs in containers, a high-quality potting mix is the best choice. Garden soil is a denser, heavier soil mix meant to be mixed into existing ground soil. It improves soil structure and adds nutrients but is not ideal for containers since it can become compacted. If your garden bed soil is lacking in nutrients or has poor drainage, mixing in a good garden soil can help. Raised bed soil is formulated specifically for raised beds, combining elements of both potting mix and garden soil. It provides excellent drainage and aeration while holding enough moisture for plant roots to thrive. If you're building a no-dig garden or raised beds, this is a great all-purpose option. Compost-based soils are rich in organic matter and great for soil improvement. Compost adds nutrients, encourages beneficial microbes, and enhances soil structure. However, pure compost is usually too rich to be used alone and is best mixed with other soils. Topsoil is the most misleading product on the shelf. It simply refers to the uppermost layer of soil and can vary widely in quality. Some topsoils are nutrient-rich, while others are nothing more than sandy or clay-heavy filler. If buying topsoil, make sure it contains organic matter and isn't just a cheap bag of subpar dirt. Not all bagged soils are made equal, and reading the label carefully can save you from making a bad purchase. A quality soil mix should have clearly listed ingredients rather than vague terms like organic material or soil blend. Look for key ingredients that indicate good soil structure and nutrient content. Peat moss or coconut coir improves moisture retention while keeping the mix light and airy. Perlite and vermiculite prevent compaction, ensuring healthy root growth. Compost and aged manure provide essential nutrients, feeding plants naturally over time. Avoid products with excessive amounts of sandwood chips or biosolids. Sand can make the soil too loose and fast-draining, while uncomposted wood chips can deplete nitrogen as they break down, starving your plants. Biosolids, often found in cheap bagged soils, are processed sewage sludge and not ideal for growing food crops. Pay attention to any fertilizers added to the mix. Some bagged soils come with slow-release fertilizers, which can be helpful for new gardeners. However, if you prefer organic gardening, opt for a mix that's enriched with natural compost rather than synthetic fertilizers. If a soil bag is missing an ingredient list, that's a red flag. Reputable brands are transparent about their ingredients because they take pride in quality. Not all bagged soils work well for every gardening project. Choosing the right type depends on what you're growing and where you're growing it. For containers and potted plants, always go with a high-quality potting mix. The lightweight texture ensures roots get the oxygen they need while retaining just the right amount of moisture. Avoid using regular garden soil, as it will become dense and suffocate roots over time. For raised beds, look for a raised bed soil blend or create your own by mixing potting mix with compost and a bit of garden soil. This ensures a good balance of drainage, nutrients, and moisture retention. For in-ground gardens, choose garden soil if you need to improve existing soil. If you're starting from scratch in a poor soil area, layering compost, garden soil, and organic matter will create a rich foundation over time. For indoor plants, stick with a potting mix specifically formulated for houseplants. Cacti and succulents need fast-draining soil, while tropical plants benefit from moisture-retentive blends. Even though many bagged soils look promising, some are low quality and can cause more harm than good. One of the biggest red flags is a cheap price with no listed ingredients. Discounted soils often contain low-nutrient fillers, sawdust, or poorly composted materials. If you open a bag and notice a strong chemical smell, mold, or large pieces of unbroken down wood, that's a bad sign. A good soil mix should have an earthy smell and a fine, crumbly texture. Large chunks of bark or debris indicate poor screening and slow decomposition, which can rob your plants of nutrients. Soils with excessive synthetic fertilizers can cause quick growth spurts followed by plant burnout. While added nutrients can be helpful, it's best to build soil health naturally with compost and organic matter. Avoid bagged soils containing biosolids, often labeled as organic compost or municipal compost. These materials may contain contaminants and are not recommended for growing edible crops. Even the best bagged soil can benefit from a few improvements before planting. Adding worm castings boosts microbial life, helping plants absorb nutrients more efficiently. Mixing in a small amount of perlite improves aeration, especially for plants that prefer drier conditions. If using bagged soil for raised beds or large containers, consider blending multiple types to create an optimal mix. A combination of potting mix, compost, and garden soil can provide a long-lasting, nutrient-rich environment for your plants. Storing bagged soil properly helps maintain quality. Keep unopened bags out of direct sunlight and store them in a dry place to prevent mold and excess moisture buildup. Once opened, cover the remaining soil with a tarp or move it to a sealed container to prevent it from drying out. Bagged soil is more than just a convenience. It's an investment in your garden's health. By choosing the right mix, reading labels carefully, and knowing what to avoid, you can create the perfect growing environment for your plants. Whether you're filling containers, amending garden beds, or building raised beds, the right soil will ensure strong, healthy growth with minimal effort. If this guide helped you, be sure to subscribe to the channel for more expert gardening advice. Share this with other gardeners who want to make the best soil choices and grow their healthiest garden yet. Let's grow together.